Welcome to the first episode of Croomskie's Corner, brought to you by RinkMasters. Today I have Caribou Cougars alumni Josh Mazer on. Josh spent the last 4 years with Prince George Cougars of the Western Hockey League. The Cougars captain has also just signed his first pro deal with the Iowa Wild of the American Hockey League. For those who don't know, Iowa is the farm team for the Minnesota Wild of the National Hockey League. Josh, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. So I read you're from Houston, BC. So growing up playing hockey in Houston, BC, what was that like? Because it's such a small town.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was always tier 4. So, I mean, you know, at least, it wasn't house hockey. I mean, you still could still go out there and, you know, hit and stuff like that in tier 4. But I mean, our teams were never that competitive, but I mean, like it was still a lot of fun because it was just with like all your buddies from, you know, back in high school and even, you know, younger than that. So it was always fun just playing with them and stuff like that, even though we weren't, you know, the greatest team, but still a lot of fun.
And so, granted, you guys probably didn't have a big hockey team there. Not a lot of teams to play in Houston. So did you guys end up traveling around quite a bit, playing Smithers and Terrace and teams like that around in the region?
Yeah, well, we try to play as many teams as we could, but you know, once you start getting to like the Smithers, you know, Terrace area, that's kind of gets into this. It was called the Skeena. They were like the Skeena League or something like that. So I mean, they were always a lot better than us. So we were kind of, I mean, a little scared to head to Smithers to play them because, you know, they usually beat us pretty bad. But I mean, we'd always play guys like teams like Burns Lake, Fraser Lake, you know, Fort St. James. So yeah, we'd have some good battles against them. But yeah, like it was always fun.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, growing up, who has been your biggest hero, and who did you look up to and try to model your game after?
No, I'd say I'd look up to my dad, and you know, he's probably my hero. But I mean, as for like hockey player wise, you know, who I kind of try to play after, and you know, model my game after. I don't know. I kind of, you know, I want to, you know, I kind of think I play a little bit like almost like Tom Wilson in a way. But I mean, at the same time, like he's obviously pretty good. But I mean, you look at guys like, I don't know, like Jamie Benn. He kind of has like, he can do almost, you know, he can go out there and, you know, score a goal, make a hit, you know, get in a fight. You know, he can kind of do everything. So I don't know. I kind of like to, I don't know, model a game after him because he's just like such a well-rounded player, and you know, he's hard-nosed also, which I like. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually a huge Dallas Stars fan, so I was glad that you brought up Jamie Benn. I guess you could see back here with the Dallas Stars flag.
Yeah.
So I read that you played for the Okanagan Hockey Academy with other, and actually on the team there was other really good Western Hockey League players on that team, like Jordy Bellarive, who played for Lethbridge, Michael Rasmussen, who played for Tri-City, and then Scott Walford, who played for Victoria and Saskatoon. Like, how was it like playing with such a talented group of guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of the year where I don't know, I kind of really started taking hockey seriously, honestly, because, you know, I kind of remember I came out of Penticton. I was just playing minor hockey there, and I had a pretty good year there the year before. I got drafted by Prince Albert, and we decided to go to like the academy. And I remember they told me I'd be on the prep team, and you know, I was just sitting there thinking like, holy, like I gotta this. You know, I was kind of a little bit intimidated, I guess, because, you know, I was just kind of like a small town kid at the time. And these guys, like, I remember, you know, seeing like articles and stuff on them, and they're like always just like kind of these guys that, you know, all the scouts were watching, and they're always ranked super high. So, I mean, it was a little intimidating going there, but I mean, the first half of the year, I mean, I didn't play a whole lot, but then, you know, the second half came around, and I kind of found my role, and I actually started playing like quite a lot, and I actually got a lot better that year. So yeah, it was a really good opportunity playing there and playing with those players, because like they really did kind of show me how much like effort they put in, you know, work they put in.
Yeah. And then so the following season, you joined the Caribou Cougars, where you got to play with your twin brother Tyler. How was that experience playing for the Caribou Cougars, and how did Trevor Sprague and his program really help to grow your game to be ready for the Western Hockey League?
Yeah, I mean, we started out as me and Ty both went to Prince Albert, and we didn't make the team, so we came back to Caribou, and yeah, it was awesome playing in Caribou. I can't say enough about when I played there, because it was just so much fun playing, back kind of home where your friends could come watch from Houston, your parents and stuff like that. But yeah, that was an awesome experience playing there. And as for like the development part of it and stuff like that, we were on the ice, every day. Sometimes we'd be on the ice multiple times and working out and stuff. So I don't know, I just kind of looked at that year as a good chance to just keep getting bigger and keep getting like stronger and stuff like that. So yeah, and our team was good that year actually too. We almost actually made it to we actually almost won it, but we lost in the finals. So yeah. Well,
and I guess it's really cool too, because then you get drafted by Prince Albert in the 4th round, 74th overall in the 2014 Bantam draft, but then to just a couple short years later, you're now traded back to the north to go play for the Prince George Cougars. So I guess that would have been a really really cool chance to go back and play close to home again.
Yeah, I was really excited when I first got the news that I was getting traded to Prince George. I was actually playing junior B at the time, and I got cut from Prince Albert when I was 17, and went to the Vernon Vipers and got cut from them also. So I went to play junior B for a little bit, and I was hoping kind of for a trade, and I actually only stayed there for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then Prince George called me, and they traded for me. So I was pretty excited at the time, but then I looked at the other side of it, and they're the best team in the league at the time. So I definitely knew I had to put my head down when I got there and just prove myself and get to work. So yeah, and it worked out.
Yeah, well, and it was actually really cool. I was at the game where at home in Prince George, where you had your first game at home, and you scored an amazing goal on the breakaway. Did that goal there really kind of set the course for you a little bit, that get that monkey off your back so early?
Yeah, I mean, coming into that game, I remember I was not in the lineup for I think it was 2 months in a row or something like that, and I just remember practicing all the time and working out all the time, and it was kind of getting a little bit tough there because I just I just wasn't playing ever, but I know I kind of had to just stick it out for a while and just grind it out, and I'd eventually get my chance. And I knew once I got it, I'd have to make it count. So I finally got in, and then I got a lucky one in there. So I mean, yeah, I just kind of wanted to keep going from there.
Right on. And I know so when you first joined the Cougars there for that season, they were such a veteran team, and they're such a good team. So out of that lineup, who on the team really showed you the ropes and to transitioning into being a Western Hockey League player?
Well, I think the first guy I probably think of is Sam Ruoff, because I lived with him actually when I first got to Prince George for the first month and a half, 2 months, and yeah, he was a good lead. He was just such a good leader, and he kind of just he was just such a laid back guy, and it just helped a lot coming into the league. And obviously I didn't really know many guys on my team, and I didn't have very many friends, I guess, on the team because I was just way younger than everyone. But yeah, he just made it feel like it was just we were all just kind of it's all friends and family kind of thing. So it wasn't all that hard coming into the league on that point, but actually getting into the lineup with the team that we had was, I guess, the most challenging part.
Right. And so, in PG, you had the chance to play for 2 different head coaches. You played for Richard Matvichuk and then Mark Lamb. 2 different coaching styles and 2 different philosophies. From your experience, what was the major difference between the 2? And I guess which philosophy really helped your game the most?
Well, with Maddie at the start there, he kind of gave me my first opportunity there. I mean, I was he's kind of like guy, you know, you gotta really prove yourself to him to get up there. So, I mean, even after my 1 year, I remember I came back and I wasn't doing very well at the start of the season. And I remember just getting like put down, like kind of the third, fourth line, even, you know, like kind of this, it sucks obviously, but I mean, sometimes you need kind of like get smacked across the head like that to wake you up. So, I mean, that was kind of what I liked about Matty. He was pretty tough, but yeah, he was a good coach. And as for Mark Lamb, I can't say enough about him. He's just, yeah, he was one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's real. One thing I can say about him is how competitive he was. You know, he didn't matter if we were a couple, like last year, 2 years ago, I think we were like bottom of the league or something. Prince Albert came to town. That's when they won and went to Mem Cup. So they were in town, and we actually like gave them a half decent game. And, you know, we were like, you know, we were kind of like sitting there, you know, like it's not bad, you know, pretty good. So, and I remember after he comes in, he's like pretty pissed off. And I was like, holy, like, but no, that's what I liked about Mark, because, you know, he always kind of demanded more out of you and expected more out of you. So even when you got to practice and stuff like that, if you weren't focused in and, you know, ready to practice, you know, you're gonna hear it. So yeah, I did love playing under Mark.
Yeah, it's definitely really good to have a coach that really drives you to be the best that you can be. I know that's pretty awesome. And so unfortunately, COVID-19 cut you guys' season short this last year. It couldn't have happened at a worse time, because you guys were really heating up. You were clicking, and it looked like you guys could have very well taken a good shot at that wild card spot. So looking back on the season, looking back at, you know, where the team started and where you guys finished, what was your take on the growth of the team throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the biggest thing to look back on from this year, is just how much better we got. I mean, like at the start of the year there, we were kind of struggling there for a bit, but then, you know, after Christmas time, you know, we all had kind of the same mindset that we wanted to get to the playoffs and, you know, show fans of Prince George, you know, playoff run kind of, you know, just get there. But yeah, we definitely came back, and I thought the second half of the year we were honestly like one of the better teams. You know, we were, especially towards the end of the year there, when Lethbridge and Vancouver came to town. I remember Vancouver was on like a 12-game win streak or something like that, and, you know, we swept them both times. And going into Victoria, I know we had a lot of confidence in our group. So yeah, like I said it before, there wasn't a doubt really that we were going to make playoffs. I kind of thought all season that we were, you know, that's where we were going to end up. So yeah, it just sucks that it ended the way it did, but yeah, I mean, it's for everyone's safety. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. I think it's really good, you guys. I mean, this is kind of like the glass half full kind of way of looking at it. But since you guys did end up finishing with that 3-game winning streak, I guess maybe for the boys heading into the next season, that's the momentum there. Hopefully, something to build on.
Yeah. I mean, that's next year's going to be. I think they're going to be a younger group, but I mean, looking at some of the guys on their team, I know that they all take it very seriously, and they've all been training hard. So it should be a good year for Prince George.
That's good to know. And so you've signed a 1-year deal with the Iowa Wild of the American Hockey League. What did that process look like?
Yeah, I was talking to quite a few schools and stuff like that, you know, because you got the school or scholarship thing with the WHL. So I was talking to a few schools for next year, and, you know, kind of thinking about basically what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and, you know, trying to find you know, a course to take or something like that. And my agent called me, and he said Iowa wants to sign you to a 2-way deal, and I was obviously like really excited at the time for that. And then I kind of thought, you know, I know Iowa was like a very good team last year, so I mean, again, like I'm kind of in that same spot where I was, you know, with Prince George a couple of years ago, my first year. So I don't know. I texted him back and I told him I'd rather, like, if you can, you know, if it works out for them and stuff, like, would they do like a one-way deal, just a straight American deal? And then he's like, oh, I'll call them and ask them what they think. And like, he called me back within like an hour there, and he just said, yeah, they want to sign you for the 1-year deal. And I was like, oh, right on. So I mean, yeah,
that's pretty awesome. And, you know, I could ask you so many questions about your time in the Western Hockey League, but I want to give you the floor. Just tell me a bit about your experience over these past 4 years, and what are the moments that you're really going to cherish as you move on to your next step in your journey?
Yeah, you know, I used to think it was kind of like, I don't know, I used to kind of think it would always be just about like playing kind of like the big games and like in front of the crowd, but you know, like kind of sitting here, like, you know, things I kind of like looking back on is just, you know, hanging out with the guys and, you know, doing stuff with them, whatever, you know, go get some food or something like that, or, you know, on the bus playing cards, stuff like that. Like, you just look back on it and it's just, you know, those are like some of my like most fond memories playing in Prince George. So we had a lot of bus trips also. I mean, we had, you know, probably the worst travel in the league for, you know, as for teams being close. So there was a lot of time spent on the bus, and, you know, a lot of cards being played. And so yeah, we had some pretty good memories back there, and, you know, at the hotel rooms, stuff like that. It's always fun.
All right. So yeah, well, I guess this concludes our interview. Thank you so much for coming on, and it was really a pleasure to talk to you. And best of luck on with your training camp with Iowa and your season upcoming.
Thank you, man. Happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and that concludes my interview with Josh Mazer for episode 1 of Croomskie's Corner. Episode 2 will be dropping the following week on Thursday, so just keep an eye out for that, and make sure to tune in to the RinkMasters podcast. Bye for now.